Hi, my name is Alex Stewart, and I'm taking computer science and software engineering through Gull Lake High School's Career and Technical Education Department. Today I will be showcasing how I installed a Linux virtual machine on my host computer using VMware Player's Hypervisor. First, what is a hypervisor? A hypervisor is a crucial piece of software that makes virtualization possible. It creates a virtualization layer that separates the actual hardware components, processors, RAM, and other physical resources from the virtual machines and the operating systems they run. The machine or hosting a hypervisor is called the host machine, while the virtual instances running on top of the hypervisor are known as the guest virtual machines. Hypervisors emulate available resources so that guest machines can use them. No matter what operating system boots up on a virtual machine, it will think the actual physical hardware is at its disposal. Next, let's take a look at the host machine's hardware resources. So I'm going to pull it up over here and enlarge it. Alright, so the first thing that you're going to see is that the operating system is Microsoft Windows 10 Education. Another thing that I wanted to point out is the processor, or CPU, and it is running 8 cores, which is going to be important for later on. And if we scroll down even further, we can see that the RAM is all the way down here under time zone, and we have 16 gigabytes of RAM. We also want to take a look at our hard drive space available. So we're going to go over here and click on to components, click on to storage, and then we should be able to see like the drives. Over here we can see that we have 174.22 gigabytes of free space. Next, we're actually going to open up our hypervisor. So if I go over here, you have the Ubuntu 18, so we're just going to click on that, and we're going to click on Edit Virtual Machine Settings. As you can see, as from earlier, if you remember, we have 8 gigabytes of memory or storage, like out of the 16. You have 4 processors out of the 8 our computer has, and 40 gigabytes of storage. So if you remember from earlier, basically we're giving the hypervisor half of what our host computer has. So it's going to have the 8 gigabytes out of the 16, 4 processors out of the 8, and we're just giving it 40 gigabytes out of the storage that we saw earlier. Now that I'm done going over some of the specs of the virtual machine, let's actually start it up. So we're going to go over here to Play Virtual Machine, and while we're waiting for it to actually start up all the way, you may be asking yourself, why would I use a virtual machine? There are many different things that you can use a virtual machine to learn how to do. Some of these things are to learn hacking, and when you hear hacking, you may think of like the people hiding in the dark, getting into other people's, but we're learning ethical hacking and how to get into certain things and make sure that they're safe and won't have any malware for us to use. Some other things that we can do is learn how to use new software. So if I wanted to go off or go do something else like other than Microsoft or Windows, I could try that. You can learn how to use new software, so just new software that you haven't used before, and we could do this with the peace of mind that we can never affect the host operating system. So now that the hypervisor is actually logged up, I just have to log into it, and it's going to take a second just to load back up. I'm going to show you guys a little bit more about my virtual machine. So if I pull up File Explorer right here, we can see that I have created a file named Alex Thornton, so just under my name, and had a subcategory for virtual machines. In virtual machines, we have a backup of the original that we go in here that was made on 12/12/22. But if we go back, we can also see we have ISO, and that's just going to be the original Ubuntu. And go back one more time, it's going to be OS, which is going to be our operating system, which is going to contain all of our information regarding everything that we have in our operating system. Finally, I'm going to show you how I set up my GUI, which is going to be my graphical user interface. So it's basically just what I'm looking at and what I have access to whenever I log into my virtual machine. So an example of this is going to be my background image. So I changed my background image by going through settings, which you can see just like a normal operating system, you have Chrome, which I downloaded onto here because it originally had Firefox, but I decided to use Chrome because I like it better. And we also can add the background like I did here by going down into settings, and then we can go down and change it through background. And you can change it to a bunch of different images, that whatever you choose, whatever you like. Or you can find pictures that you have in your folder and have them there, or just choose a solid color if you don't feel like you have anything that you really like. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, you can download different web browsers, or like different web browsers and stuff like that. Originally this did have Firefox, and I just basically took that off and downloaded Chrome instead. Another thing I forgot to mention, but you can do, is change your side for your favorites. That's also found in settings, and you can just change it from either left, down, up, or right. Or actually, I don't think it's actually up, but you go left, right, or have it down if you prefer any of those other ones. And I don't remember which tab it is in, but if I can see if I can find it. Oh, it is. They call it your dock in here, but you can basically just change the position on the screen, so you can go bottom and you see right away it shoots all the way down to the bottom, or you can choose your right, shoots all the way to your right, or you could have it left, which is what I had it originally. So overall it's really customizable, and you can choose it, or you can choose different things and fit it to your liking. And this is my virtual machine that I use on my operating system.